Welcome back to another Real Talk reaction. This one is for Loki, Season 1, Episode number 6, the conclusion. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please hit that notification bell. Thank you.
Alright, a couple comments from Episode 5, starting with our patrons. And the first one up is Michelle Leach, who says, another amazing episode. Was so happy when Mobius popped up in the pizza car to rescue Sylvie. So glad he's doing good after the scare last episode. And his hug with Loki was everything. Yes! The way Loki grasped his back, yes, please. Yes, please. Also, so fun seeing all the Loki variants fight each other while our evolved Loki walked around shaking his head trying to stay out of it. And him being all smooth and conjuring the blanket around Sylvie and her little content smile was so cute. And love her saying, I think we are stronger than we think after seeing old Loki create an entire illusion of Asgard. Such a noble sacrifice. And Gator Loki was adorable moving around this episode. So much personality behind those little eyes. But the cherry on top was a Smoke Monster 2.0. Of course, I was thinking of the beloved Lost Smoke Monster during this episode as the columns took out people. Lost being my favorite show of all time and Loki being my currently airing favorite show, it was a dream come true. Did Lost come to mind when watching this episode, and any thoughts to shed on the iconic show? I mean, we love Lost. Like, but this was back in the day where you would buy like the DVD sets. Yeah. We would buy the entire DVD set, and this is before we had Jalen too, and literally the entire weekend from waking up to like the middle of the night where you passed out halfway through the DVD, watching it until it was all done. It was insane.
We were the definition of binge.
It was literally
we wouldn't even watch it in real time until it
we
finished.
Wanted the entire DVD.
The whole thing.
We wanted it all at once.
Yes.
We couldn't do it episode by episode. But totally agree. I think the Smoke Monster from Lost, and then also reminiscent of Stranger Things too. I feel like it had that vibe as well.
Yeah.
Alright, then we have Doug Cowell coming through to say, my friend had the best idea tonight before Black Widow that I'm only sharing here because I know you loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like we did. We did. Prediction. When Loki and Sylvie get into the castle, the only inhabitant is Coulson. Yes, Agent Coulson, now in his never-dying Chronicone body, gets his final revenge on Loki for stabbing him through the heart. He has had eternity set up the TVA. He loves classic sci-fi for the motive, controlling time and plucking away every version that gets close to bettering himself just so he can establish a proper Loki that dies for what he did. What?
Wow.
So Loki and Sylvie see him, and we end with Time to Take You to Tahiti and bring on season 2. My guy, I'm like covered in goosies.
That's
like,
a good little skit you can make right there.
Someone should just do that for the sake.
That's ultimate pettiness.
That is literally something that should be made out there. Why is that not a thing?
That is ultimate pettiness.
Doug, that was fantastic. Tell your friend they rock.
Yeah.
Alright, we have executive producer Lissit saying, this was an amazing episode. I loved every minute of it. Classic Loki and Kid Loki were my favorite Lokis in this doomed realm. I'm glad that Mobius was not, and he was such an integral part of their mission, and he still has plenty more to do in the show.
Yeah.
Also, the judge needs to die because she's very annoying to me, and if Sylvie and Loki were unsuccessful in their mission, she will continue with the stupid TVA mission because she likes the power and cannot accept that she's a variant herself.
Yep.
Sylvie and Loki's romance is adorable, but feels uncomfortable at times considering who they are, but they were my highlight of this episode because every conversation they were a part of had purpose and meaning behind it, and realizing their potential thanks to classic Loki was another highlight of mine. I'm really excited for the finale after that final scene and looking forward to what lies ahead of them, and hopefully it's epic because the show has been brilliant and very unique compared to WandaVision and Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I think all three of them stood out with their own little thing, so
Alright.
But it's still very Marvel.
And longtime supporter and patron who has been missing for a bit, Feather, coming through to leave a comment.
What up?
Feather says, I had to take a break from my Patreon surfing, but I've been lurking and I'm back to comment for at least the final episode of Loki.
Okay, peeking like a geek.
You know how it is when I'm gone for weeks and just suddenly drop in on an episode. It's going to be a long one. I've broken it into 3 parts. Laugh my ass off. Alright, let's go. Part 1 of 3. I've been having a fantastic time with this series. It's most definitely been my favorite of the Disney Plus shows so far, though I adored The Falcon and Winter Soldiers. But the time travel, alternative timeline dimension, and space adventure stuff in Loki is much more up my alley in terms of genre.
Yeah.
Episode 5 might just turn out to be my favorite of the season. All the Lokis together were incredible, fun but tragic, brave but lonely, and just the right amount of duplicitous. Exactly what I've always wanted from one of my top two favorite trickster gods from mythology, the other being Anansi the spider, of course. Classic Loki's sacrifice was so beautiful and heartbreaking at the same time. He was basically the same Loki that lived all the way through the MCU up to Avengers Infinity War, but he didn't die there. Instead, he retreated to isolation to reflect on himself and improve spiritually and magically over several centuries. This is why he's so powerful, but it's also why he's so lonely. At least the other Lokis were able to interact with other people. Classic Loki was all alone for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years, given how slow frost giants, Asgardians, age and how old classic Loki looks. Also, classic Loki wanted, by the end, all that classic Loki wanted by the end was to see his brother again. Then the TVA snatched away his chance. It breaks my heart to think that maybe he never saw Thor, his timeline's Thor, ever again before he died.
Yeah.
Maybe he was able to find some peace with meeting a Thor variant, but who can be sure at this point? Sylvie also breaks my heart, kidnapped as a child by the time cops and forced to run from apocalypse to apocalypse, cursed to never be able to connect with anyone except people destined to die. Watching everyone around her die in agony or in fear on literally every world she lived on. She's a frost giant too, so assuming she's roughly the same age as Avengers Loki, she's around 1,000 to 1,500 years old now. Also assuming the same relative aging rates as humans, Sylvie would have been taken from Asgard by the TVA when she was around 200 to 300 years old. Sylvie lived hundreds of years watching everyone around her die over and over as she plotted violent revenge on an interdimensional fascist organization. Such a metal backstory, but also so messed up.
Yeah.
I honestly can't do anything but love her after learning that. Part 2 of 3. Now on to our Loki. His growth this season has been incredible. The show decided to speedrun him through many of the emotional beats Infinity War Loki went through, but I'm glad they've given him a different enough flavor that it doesn't feel cheap. Right now I want them to focus on his show, but in the future I would definitely welcome a reintroduction of this Loki to post-Endgame, Thor, and the other Avengers or Asgardians just to see how differently he reacted to things. After all, he never experienced finding a common ground with Thor and Odin, nor did he fully experience the desperate yet heroic moments before his death at the hands of Thanos. Instead, our new Loki main character is an anti-hero redemption story that took a whole different route. The major catalysts for his change weren't Thor or Frigga, but were Mobius, Sylvie, and the other Lokis. This Loki actually found genuine friends. I mean, yes, most of them are variants of himself, but they are also different enough to count as different people in my book. What's important is that they are friends that are his first instead of Thor's friends who merely tolerated him as Thor's little brother. As the youngest sibling of 4 children, I know how that feels when your friends are actually just your siblings' friends and you finally find someone who is associated only with you. Trying to define yourself outside of your siblings can be really tough to do, especially when you're the youngest. Loki also found a different kind of love with Sylvie. Whether that stays romantic or settles into something more platonic doesn't really matter to me. I like both, for different reasons. What can't be denied is that meeting Sylvie has been character defining for this Loki. He has had the opportunity to see a version of his life that is heroic instead of villainous. He can see a path that doesn't include a hunger for power and control over others in a desperate bid to cover up his own fears and loneliness. Sylvie doesn't want to rule the TVA, she wants to destroy it, for revenge and despite her protesting in episode 5, also to free the universe so it can be what it always meant to be, gloriously unrestrained. Finally, our Loki can see a version of himself fighting for freedom, not by further oppressing the weak like he did in Avengers and in the first Thor movie. Instead, she is truly embodying Loki's ideals of being a liberator by going after the people in power. And like Sylvie said, if she can do something, so can Loki, because at their soul, they are the same. Also, like Mobius said, Loki can do or be anything he wants if he just tries. I love seeing these gods of chaos and mischief living up to their titles on a cosmic scale. That scene where they use their powers together to take control of Aelia, while classic Loki bought them time by showcasing his incredible power, was sublime. Loki doubts himself, but Sylvie just comes along and tells him no, he can enchant just like her and just supports him through his first enchantment. I love the Thor-Loki relationship, don't get me wrong, and the Loki-Frigga relationship, of course, but I think Loki's history with them is still very wrapped up in a lot of negative aspects that's hindered Loki's growth for a long time. I think this Loki with Sylvie and Mobius and his life is going to grow even more powerful because he finally has his own support system. I'm so attached to all these characters, the Lokis and Sylvie, B-15, my beloved, Mobius, Miss Minutes, Casey, hell, even Renslayer, if you can believe it. Alright, part 3 of 3.
Wow.
I really like Renslayer and what she brings to the story. Obviously based on the flashbacks to when she was Hunter A23 capturing a young Sylvie, Renslayer is also a variant who was stolen from her life. But unlike most, it would seem she rose to power, gained a unique name, and began to prey on her own. Yet, I genuinely believe that she had no clue about the Timekeeper being robots or who's really behind the TVA. That single scene of her at the start of episode 4, where she nervously takes a breath before she goes into the Timekeepers, tells me it's the truth. She looked completely freaked out over how messed up she let the timeline get after Sylvie's time bombs and Renslayer was gearing up for punishment.
Mm-hmm.
She was alone in that elevator scene. There is no point for her to pretend to be scared when literally no one but her is in a room after all. I personally think she's clinging to the familiar and is afraid of and unwilling to let go of the powers she gained by becoming the almighty judge of the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
The other option is that her world was rocked by the reveal of the robot keepers, but maybe not her worldview. Maybe she really believes the ends justify the means and that the mission statement of the TVA is necessary and worthwhile. I'm thinking back to that scene in episode 4 when she tells Mobius that she's seen all of existence and protecting the sacred timeline is worth it. Maybe she believes that even if the people behind the TVA turned out to be a lie. It's foolish and ignorant, but maybe Renslayer just drank too much of the Kool-Aid and can't or won't turn back. There were a ton of Easter eggs in episode 5. Several of the elements of this episode's stories come from an Avengers comic, Avengers the Terminatrix Objective, that heavily features Renslayer as a focal character and includes the first introduction of the alien Storm smoke monster from episode 5. The reason I bring this up is because, unlike most, I think Renslayer in the Loki show is either a precursor to who she later becomes in the comics, or she is a variant of the Renslayer from the comics who was kidnapped from the timeline. Maybe she was actually just a regular person with a completely different name. She gains the alias name Ravonna Renslayer from the TVA itself. In the Loki show, she started out in the TVA with a number name A23, just like B15 and C20. And I certainly don't think Mobius' real name on Earth was actually Mobius,
No.
so it's probably true for Renslayer too. As for who is really behind the curtains of the TVA, who knows? Thematically, it would make sense for it to be another Loki. I was totally saying that earlier. A lot of people want it to be Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping it's neither, though. There's part of me that wants to be completely surprised. Can't wait until the next episode. Love you guys. Man, Feather comes through and dropping bars.
I see why you took some time off.
Yeah.
You had to think about that.
That was a lot of work in that.
I wonder how many scratch outs you had to do to get that right. That was
All right.
very in depth.
Alright, a couple comments then from YouTube, and then we're jumping to the reaction. So we have Ghost8386 saying, Alligator Loki has no chill. Classic Loki is laughing at, Classic Loki laughing at Aelith was glorious. Kid Loki was drinking a high C ecto cooler. The MVP of this episode was Alligator Loki. The tiny Thor in the jar was Frog Thor or Throg. Some Easter eggs in this episode. The living tribunal's head, Throg, high C ecto cooler, Ronan's ship, the Dark Aster, Kang Tower, Shield Helicarrier, President Loki, Space Mission, Roxy Wan, Giant Yellow Jacket Helmet,
Thanos Hilo.
USS Eldridge, and Polybius Arcade Game. Alright, and last two comments. Motivation Mike says, fun fact, the battleship that dropped in was a nod to Philadelphia's experiment where it said they made the ship invisible and it travels space-time itself and was claimed to be in Norfolk, Virginia, 10 minutes prior to the incident. Then Sith Kunman says, the figure in the jar buried next to Thor's hammer, I don't know how to say the name, is Throg, a frog version of Thor. And Motivation Mike adds, the number on the jar is the comic edition that Loki actually turns Thor into a frog. Love all the nods to the comics. So things like that are great. So I love when you guys point those out because almost all of them go over my head. So that's super cool.
Appreciate that, Motivation Mike.
My team has fought for the right to experience peace.
End of time.
Wow. That was cool.
He lives in a castle at the end of time.
On a floating rock.
On a floating rock. Time and space.
She looks so good, right?
Aren't you going to tell me not to kick the door in?
So where everything's been culminating to.
Okay, shut up. I was pruned before you even existed. I have been waiting for this moment my entire life. I just need a second to get my head straight, okay?
Sure. Of course.
See?
Can't stand it. I'm so excited. So excited.
The heck?
You okay?
Welcome to the Citadel at the end of time.
Come on.
Congratulations. Y'all had an awfully long journey to get here. He's impressed.
Who's impressed?
He who remains.
And who is he?
He created all, and he controls all. At the end, it is only he who remains. And he wants to offer you a deal. He's been making a few creative adjustments, and he's worked it out so we can reinsert both of y'all back into the timeline in a way that won't disrupt things.
Disrupt
stop
things.
The TVA can keep doing its vital work, and y'all can live the lives you've always wanted.
And what have we always wanted?
Now, don't play coy with me, mister. You know how you got into this mess.
What?
The Battle of New York, silly. You versus those self-righteous Avengers. How would you like to win? But not just there. You can kill Thanos.
He looks like he really
You
wants
want
to
the
do that.
Infinity Gauntlet? Yours. Throne of Asgard? No problem. What about you, Missy? All those years on the run, desperate, alone. How would you like to wake up tomorrow with just a lifetime of happy memories? Two Lokis in the same place.
Both of us. Together on the timeline.
It's crazy, but he could make it work. All of it. Everything.
Why are you so scared? Got
Exactly the
sitting
way
on a
you
little person up
always
there?
wanted. And you can have it all together.
It's fiction.
Thanks, but no thanks.
We write our own destiny now.
Oh, sure you do. Good luck with that.
She got a little,
Sure you do.
savage.
Laugh at that.
How do you just pop up with that creepy ass hello?
I know. Hey, before you walk around this castle.
Hey there.
What took you so long?
Sorry, some things had to get worked out, but I'm downloading the files you need now.
Playing both sides right there.
This isn't what I asked for.
I know, but he thinks this will be more useful.
Who?
Happy reading.
He who remains. Who is that?
He who remains.
Coast.
Not for much longer.
scratched up or paint spilled or something?
Are you sure he's even still alive?
Snap, here it comes. Who's that?
That is him.
Who is that?
Yep, Kane.
This is wild. The two of you, same person. I mean, it's a little unnatural, but wow. Wow.
Who is this?
He who remains.
He will remain. She's the calling me out. Creepy. Right.
Creepy.
I like it.
I like it. Who is it?
Come on. Come on, let's talk. In my office.
That's fucking weird.
And we come off as a nice guy.
Yeah, who is it? Who is this guy?
Not what you were expecting,
Look at Loki's face.
Just a man.
Flesh and blood. Don't tell me I'm a disappointment.
No. Just a little bit easier to kill.
Wait, is he?
Wow. Flesh and blood.
Come on.
I knew you guys were gonna try to kill me.
I live at the end of time. You think it would be easy to get me?
But who is this? You know who this
It's
is?
supposed to be Kane right there. Jonathan Majors.
Please. Take a seat.
I need way more information.
Big bad.
Stand down, B-15.
You need to listen to me.
There'll be time for that.
Just wait.
What the hell is going on here?
This is where she's actually from?
Translator.
Who are you?
All the stuff the TVA didn't know about, I knew. All the scheming, all the talking. That little look by the lake. Quite sentimental, very touching stuff, by the way.
No. No, we broke out of your little game. That's
Did
how
you?
we got here.
Did you?
No, wrong. Every step you took to get here. Lamentus the void. I paved the road. You just walked down it.
That's gonna piss her all to hell, man.
And I have the rest right here. Everything that's going to happen. There's only one way this can go.
Then why are we here?
Come on. No, you can't get to the end until you've been changed by the journey. This stuff, it needs to happen. To get us all in the right mindset. To finish the quest.
Right.
Right.
So it's all a game. It's all a manipulation.
Interesting that your head would go to that. Sylvie!
You think you can and listen to it.
Don't look at him. Do you think you're even capable of trusting anyone at all?
I think people are ready to hear a little truth now. You know, like the TVA is a lie.
What if it's a necessary one? Someone created the timekeepers. They created this whole place. They gave us all purpose. I have to believe they had a reason.
No, because I've seen the horror waiting for people when they get pruned, and there's nothing necessary about that.
You know what would happen if we didn't prune the timeline?
What?
Chaos. Death.
Free will?
Free will? Only one person gets free will. The one in charge.
Me.
And just who are you?
I've been dubbed many names by many people. A ruler, a conqueror,
Oh. King the
he who
Conqueror.
remains, a jerk. But it's,
Oh, okay. So that
it's
is.
not as simple.
How did you know though?
That's the actor that's supposed to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh.
Eons ago, before the TVA, a variant of myself lived on Earth in the 31st century. He was a scientist, and he discovered that there were universes stacked on top of his own. At the same time, other versions of us were learning the same thing. Naturally, they made contact, and for a while, there was peace. Narcissistic, self-congratulatory peace. I love your shoes, I love your hair. Oh man, nice nose, thanks man. Etc.
Etc.
They shared technology and knowledge, using the best of their universes to improve the others. However, not every version of me was so pure of heart. Some of us, consuming time and space itself, a creature you both know.
Goliath.
Alive.
Bingo. I harnessed the beast's power and began experimenting on it.
I weaponized Goliath. And I ended the multiversal war. Once I isolated our timeline, all I have to do is manage the flow of time and prevent any further branches. Hence, the TVA. Hence, the timekeepers in a highly efficient bureaucracy. Hence, ages and ages of cosmic harmony. Hence, you're welcome.
You're welcome. So he's scared of his other versions of himself, babe.
Came to kill the devil. Right? Look, guess what? I keep you safe. And if you think I'm evil, well, just wait till you meet my variants.
So he's not the one we're gonna be.
That's the gambit.
That's the gambit.
Stifling order or cataclysmic chaos. You may hate the dictator, but something far worse is gonna horrible, terrible, horrific thing.
You.
Sir.
But now, you, have a chance to do them for a good reason.
Sylvie's totally gonna try to kill him.
Yeah.
We just crossed the
the threshold.
What are you doing?
Sylvie, hang on a moment. Let's just talk about it.
Well, how about we finish what we started and kill him?
Wow.
What if he's saying the truth?
So what?
I believe him.
You believe what? That a bazillion boogeymen are going to turn up just because
Bazillion boogeymen.
He's a liar, Loki.
So am I. And I don't think he was lying. Not about that. Insane? Yes. But maybe he was telling the truth.
Better hurry. Timeline's already branching.
So what are you suggesting?
Better hurry, make a decision.
And what precisely is there to think about?
I mean, you almost can't believe
You
it,
see
man.
what he was saying? That's the gambit. Remove the dictator and what fills the void?
You want the throne.
No. That's not it, no.
And that's the problem
I
with
don't
this.
believe you.
Sylvia, the universe is in balance. Everything we know to be true. Everything. I know the TVA sold us both. But what if by taking him out, we risk unleashing something even worse? All I'm suggesting is we just take a minute to think about it. I promise you from my heart, this isn't about a throne. Stop. I've been where you are. I've felt what you feel. Don't ask me how I know. All I know is I don't want to hurt you. I don't want a throne.
Oh my god.
I just... I just want you to be okay.
Oh my goodness.
And if he started laughing, man. Look at that. This is just beautiful.
But I'm not you.
How'd she do that? How'd she do that? She got one of them? One of the thingamajigs?
Oh, so she's totally gonna kill him.
Oh,
Oh.
she used that.
Incredible.
Aren't you going to beg for your life?
Good.
Wow.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Because he's talking about his variants, babe. Hell is about to break loose.
Wow. See you soon.
Baby seal.
See Wolverine out there? No?
Baby, you see it's just branching off crazy.
I got some X-Men.
Woo! That's not a clean line anymore, is it, babe?
And game over. You know what? I quit. I'm going home.
Who said anything about turning back?
We're all done.
They're gonna have to run a TVA to keep it together with Loki. Loki gonna have to help keep it under control.
Yeah, that's probably why there's a season 2. Because there's a lot to do still.
Yeah.
It's already happening. He's already
Yeah, it's
doing
already
his
done.
own.
Yeah, it's already done.
Oh, snap!
Wow. Who are you? Oh, I got me right there.
Are you an analyst?
Yeah, all right. What division are you from? Wow. Well, I guess that's it, huh?
Oh, what's that? Yeah, click on that. Just to make sure you know.
So there will be a season 2?
Okay, that was the crazy conclusion of Loki, episode number 6, season finale. Man, it's a lot to unpack in that episode right there. Definitely needs to be a second watch so you can get everything all in there. But the gist of it is we got Kang. He was revealed at the end as the Conqueror. Oh no, but the twist was that's not the Kang that the MCU wants you to know Kang as. This was a happy, friendly, I'm just trying to keep the world and universe stable Kang right there. Hey, I'm just your friendly villain. That's not the Kang that's going to come through and wreck shop. This is beautifully done, I must say. Kevin Feige, once again, I must say, the thoughts of this, bringing it all, how it begins, it's just all beautifully done, to say the least. I mean, multiverse of madness, Doctor Strange is probably more than likely 99.9% stemming from this incident.
100%. There's
right
not
here.
even a doubt. There's like 100%.
Spider-Man stemming from this right here. It's how it all begins. So, I loved it. Very, very surprised at the end. Not what I thought it was going to be. Not what I've even heard anybody else thinking it was going to be. I'm glad everything was wrong. I'm glad everything came to a head. I'm glad it ended the way it ended. Very shocking. Left a whole lot on the table for you to be like, damn, I still need to know what's up. It's very binge-worthy. And damn, the super duper twist at the end when Loki was put back in a different timeline, which I guess makes sense because she did use Kang's thingamajig to open up the portal.
And she just assumed it would go back
and
to the
she
same
assumed
point,
it, but it did not.
No.
So now there's no way back to that. Mobius he's just back to being a corporate man, and maybe he's running the TVA right now instead of it's just crazy right now. So Love this episode. I love the dialogue from beginning to end. I love the fight scene at the end. It was very emotional. At first, I didn't even think she was going to kill him. I thought we was going to do something. I just like, it ain't going to happen. If it was going to kill him, they would have killed him, but it didn't happen. But it happened the way I didn't think it was. And again, that was another shocking surprise too right there. And then I have my other, before I'm done with this, I loved it so much, but the last reveal I loved was the high school. Yeah, we seen where the pen went.
Renslayer.
The pen was the high school, and she, I guess, was the principal over there, and that's how you tell everybody at the same time all of this is fake. Loved. Now, what's happening to that timeline with those TVA people that we know? You have to tune into season 2 to see what's up with it, and I'll be there for that all day. So, hands down, great season, great ending. That's how you do it. Let's keep this train moving. Multiverse of Madness, let's go.
Yeah, I think it completely is the catalyst of all the things, and
Doctor Strange
what a great way to end this another amazing series.
Yeah.
I mean, we say it over and over again that, like, can it get better? Can they maintain quality? And the answer is yes, the fuck we can't, because it does not diminish at all.
Yeah.
So I didn't know the King reveal. I didn't know anything about it. Obviously, you did from the actor or whatever, but like having it put together makes so much sense to me. What I find is really exciting, again, I don't know the original character, but I know very clearly they try to make this variant completely different from what Kang's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because this guy is not a conqueror. He's like a big, nerdy...
he's a maintainer.
Silly goose.
Status quo.
And I feel like they did that super on purpose to exaggerate the opposite poles this variant is.
Yeah, we're probably going to see
And
that.
I think that's going to be so incredible to see what King the Conqueror is when it's revealed to be him, and several variations of him too, because everybody's coming through. So the fact that we're not even getting just one possible villain, that it's the same villain over and over and over again and has this immense amount of power is crazy.
And
I mean, we
said,
had Thanos built in 10 years.
Yeah, 2 Thanos,
We had built in 10 years of Thanos, and that was a big baddie. Now we're going to have multiple variations of an even more intense baddie.
And did he say that each one was like evil-er than the other one? Or?
I mean, they're all different, but there's the majority of them in which we're about to take the entire universe down or conquer. Yeah, they're trying to kill each other. So that in of itself for this episode alone and this series alone was incredible. The other thing, and I could be wrong, but I'm just going to voice it because I thought it was super crazy and very cool, not crazy, but very cool how the episode opened up with the typical opening screen of the Marvel, but it wasn't the visuals, it was the sounds of like, and what it made me think of was the end of WandaVision when she hears her sons screaming out. So I'm like, that might have been a sign right there of when the universes were splitting. She was starting to hear the other multiverses because like I just feel it's too coincidental to have the voices. It felt very much a callback to the WandaVision because I was like, oh, that must have been the moment when things were splitting and she got to hear her sons from another timeline.
Yeah, because what was she doing there? Wasn't she doing the...
Yeah, she heard them, and I just feel like that must be around the same time this happened. I was just like geeking out, like this is incredible. So yeah, that was really great. Honestly, it's a heartbreaking episode if you think about it for even Loki specifically. I mean, he finally gets to a point where he has this incredible support system with Sylvie, with Mobius. He feels like, which has created so much character growth, to have him now split off in another timeline where he's completely alone again breaks my heart. Like,
now where's Sylvie? Sylvie's still.
I mean, I don't know. And then for her character development too. I mean, I knew 100% the entire episode she was gonna kill him. There was no way that was not gonna happen to me.
I mean, that was her whole point.
That was her entire motivation, and there was nothing that you could possibly talk her out of. And then to the added caveat of like, even this moment is particularly planned all the way up in here to where she again felt no free will. She was definitely taking him out. This is gonna be one decision I made for myself. I committed to it. I'm going all the way through it, and I thought it was done so well. The fight between her and Loki was super powerful. I thought that was really, really good as well. Obviously the kiss was done not only to distract Loki, but also she knew this was a goodbye. She was like, she knew this was gonna be the last time. It was just so like heartbreaking in so many ways. So all of that was great. I totally agree with you. The Renslayer, the way they revealed that was so subtle and so like low key, but like low key, but really, really well done too. But no, I just think they did a phenomenal job of setting up where we're going from here, and I cannot wait, and I'm nervous, and I'm scared, but I'm like, this is gonna be something we haven't experienced before. Like, we've had, like, this is, I don't even know what to expect, and that's incredible, yet again, that they're able to create this amazing, like, response and reaction, and anticipation for what's coming next. So, I love this series. I didn't think they could do it again at the same level, and again, they completely went above and beyond.
This answers all the questions of how do you merge what we just collected from Fox into a whole universe, and everybody mashing up or running across each other from different worlds and time. That's how you do it. Multiverse madness right there.
And here's your answer.
And here's your answer.
I'm so excited. And because that also means then there could be a multitude of people trying to fight Kang. You know, like different groups and different timelines.
Everybody
oh my
Kang.
God, this is so cool. Where is this going?
And how do you stop him?
Yeah.
How do you stop him?
No
you
idea.
just seen the power of this Kang right here to just already know it all. I can move, boom, 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 all that. How do you stop?
I don't know.
It's already
but I'm here for it. I'm
here for all
this
that.
was amazing. I love this episode. I can't say enough good things, and I absolutely can't wait for what our next adventure
just
will
eat
be.
it up like free candy snacks. I mean, it's just very good. Very, very good. So, hey, we're done with it. Hope to see you guys back for season 2. Thank you guys again for watching another Real Talk reaction for Loki. Season 1, episode 6, the season finale. And until next time, people, peace.